Welcome once again to the lounge with all of us, and we have got on set with us
Paul,
Hannah,
Renee.
I'm Darlene,
I'm Prodish.
I'm Jonathan.
and it's really great to have you with us. So we're going to be talking about something we've put everybody in the lounge today. We're going to discuss stress and anxiety. So this is a subject that's very vast and it is intense. But we want to try and help us in this journey of stress and anxiety to understand a few things, to recognize the signs. So first of all, we need to recognize the signs in ourselves and then in our friends.
Yeah.
So we need to know, number one, stress and anxiety over exam time is normal. It's
normal.
Okay, it's normal. Serious? It's normal. It's every single person has it. It doesn't matter who you are, from when you're little all the way up to your however old person who is going to be studying and taking extra degrees or studying further. Everybody has stress and anxiety when they are studying. It's how you cope with it, how you deal with it, that's going to make you overcome it or succumb to it. So that's the first thing. And I'm going to ask some of our team here, what does stress look like in your own life? How do you deal with stress? What happens to you when you're stressed?
Well, for me, when I'm stressed, I just get a headache and I sleep all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm quite the opposite, because when I'm stressed, I don't want to eat anything and I can't sleep at all. I sort of walk around like I'm a floating zombie.
Oh, yes.
I start things and never finish them.
You procrastinate.
Yes. I would start a garden and I get bored. Then I just start something else.
Okay.
I get super irritable and I just don't want anybody around me.
I must say I'm on a par with you there. I get irritable. I don't know about the not wanting anybody around, but I get a little bit snappy and anxious.
yeah, I mean, knees get weak, and sometimes you lose yourself, like you zone out in whatever space you are in. So yeah, I think it's one of the things I feel when I feel like I'm anxious or something is happening and I have anxiety.
So what we're saying is actually stress and anxiety looks different in each one of us.
Yeah.
And do not think that you are weak because you're having stress or you're having anxiety. You are not weak. We all go through it, but it's how we deal with it, as we said. So what are some of the other signs? We've said what it looks like over here amongst us, but what could be the other signs we could pick up in our friends, family members, people around us?
I have a friend, and when she gets super, super stressed out, she completely disappears. She doesn't answer her phone. Nobody can get a hold of her. Nobody's seen her. So that's something that I know personally that affects me, because when my friend is stressed, she makes everybody else around her stressed.
Okay.
I have friends that just start daydreaming almost. It just seems like they're just not present in the current situation.
Okay.
I think with that, a bit of nausea starts to creep in.
Nausea.
Yeah.
Yeah, or stomach cramps.
Yeah.
Or pains and aches. And we don't know why. Sometimes you might be having aches and pains and you think that there's something wrong with you. It might be stress or anxiety.
Headaches as well.
Well, and it's quite interesting because the type of headache, it's like when you feel like your brain left your skull and it's bouncing between
My nephew would have a mental block.
Okay.
During exams, in the exam room, she would go blank.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely blank.
Yes.
Yeah. So it looks different. Another sign is a panic attack. And panic attacks are very real. And please don't look down on people who are having a panic attack because it's very, very real. And the signs of a panic attack are so serious that you're thinking you could die.
I know I struggle with panic attacks, and that is always one thing, is trying to communicate. You feel like your brain is fogged up and you can't say or express yourself properly. And how scary that is, not just for me, but for the people around me, for the people who are not familiar with panic attacks and don't know then how to help me in such situations.
Well, I like the health part of it as well. So how do we also maybe finding myself in a position, my friend is having a panic attack and I'm just there. what best can I do, or
Yeah.
just to see like symptoms to say my friend is having a panic attack. Like we've described, somebody vanishes, some block, maybe some, do they get angry?
So some can get very angry. Well, a panic attack is generally what happens is that the heart starts racing, you start breathing, and you start to maybe feel a bit dizzy. You start to feel anxious, and you start to feel like, actually, I could die. You start thinking, how could I die? What happens if I die now? Will anybody find me? Is there anybody around who can help me? Don't go telling a person having a panic attack, Reneway, just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down, and that doesn't help. Actually, the best thing is to distract yourself. Distract yourself, get a distraction, and go for a run. Go for a walk. Recognize you're having a panic attack. Get up and do something. Grab a mic and start singing. Do something that's going to distract you. Ladies, get up and dance, or guys, get up and dance. Do something that's going to distract you. A lot of times, stress also shows the signs of stress and anxiety when we are anxious over exam time. Can show where we get angry and we've got a short fuse. It's like, just don't talk to me, don't do this. And we realize afterwards that's what's happened. So let's talk about, just very briefly, the do's and the don'ts that happen in stress and anxiety. So a lot of the do's that we should do, I'm going to say we should actually acknowledge.
Yeah.
I think that will be the first step, and that's more or less helping yourself at that point in time to just acknowledge that, hey, I'm panicking, or I'm having a panic attack. But I don't know how that would work as well for you to acknowledge and go in that space of a moment when that is happening. So it's quite interesting when you acknowledge and go, okay, should I breathe, or should I distract myself? Should I take a mic? Should I go for a walk?
You need to find out what works for you. You'll realize it. Something else that we can do?
Once you acknowledge, you can also get help.
Help.
Yeah.
Ask for help.
Yes.
Hey, I'm struggling. Or not just panic attack. We're talking about anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
All right?
I think you have to start off by being positive, because negative thoughts stimulate negative
Yes.
actions, and therefore you could do something and harm yourself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think being positive helps as well. I think if you put yourself in that frame of mind, then everything else should come, not relatively easy, but everything should come easier than before.
Yeah. However, I must just say that sometimes when we're in that mindset, it's very difficult to be positive.
Yeah.
So that's why we need to ask for help. And eat and sleep.
Yeah.
You
Rest.
need to rest. That can actually cause more stress and anxiety. We should have 7 to 8 hours sleep a night. And then when we don't sleep, we get even more anxious.
Yes.
So what do? We grab our phone. And we start scrolling through our phone. Actually, don't do that at night time, because that stimulates, the light actually stimulates your brain and makes you think that it's actually time to wake up. So then we are waking ourselves up again. And interesting, the doctors, medical world speaks about when we are sleeping, we do wake up once at night. It's part of our sleep pattern. But when we wake up, we kind of surface. When you surface and wake up, sometimes we go to the bathroom, but sometimes some of us surface and we go, oh, I've woken up. And we grab our phone again. Don't do that, because you wake yourself up even more. So sleep. We need sleep and eat. Make sure that you eat. Make sure that you are eating at least once a day. For those who are fortunate enough to have 2 or 3 meals a day, make sure that you're eating properly, or even in between. Just little things like peanuts, raisins, and some of the don'ts we mustn't do. Some of the don'ts are,
Don't keep quiet and disappear because your friends and family miss you.
she's got some trauma over there from one of her friends.
I think don't overthink, because in exams, the teachers can only examine what they've taught you. So that should really help.
Yeah. And I think overthinking, that's where you hit the edge, because when you overthink, your mind is racing, your heart is pumping. So what you need to do is just calm down, like the dudes of like breathe, so that you make sure that you come to a relaxed state, so that you can think positive about what you're doing in that kind of exam, or to remember stuff. You just have to relax.
Yeah. So some of the things also is don't turn to substance abuse. substances.
That one is the worst.
It's the worst. It'll be, if that's what you're stuck in, we want to ask for help. You've got to ask for help because those areas are such a struggle. It can get you into a cycle. Don't turn to
Study drugs.
study drugs. Study drugs. Please watch out with study drugs. And then also be very careful because some of these things can cause us to, we don't want to turn to violence, which can be self-violence, things like cutting, even thoughts of suicide or whatever they may be. Don't go that route. It's not worth it. For exams, your life is so important. So you've got to realize, put things in perspective. And if you are having a challenge and you are stressing and you're feeling like your world's spinning out of control, please pick up the line and phone Childline. You can get their numbers online immediately. We'll probably post the number for you at the end of this. Phone Childline and say, hey guys, I need help. There's something that's going on in my life. So please, stress and anxiety, let's do one breathing exercise before we end. I'm going to show you the breathing exercise. So what we want to do here is I want to teach you how to do a breathing exercise. This breathing exercise has got me through a lot of stressful times. And actually, I know that psychologists and psychiatrists use this and all sorts of different avenues where people help with relaxation techniques, they use breathing. Why? Because when we breathe properly, we bring in more oxygen into our bodies, circulates in our blood, it causes the body to calm down. So it's a very real thing. It's not just here. So we're going to do something called the 848, just so you can remember it, something simple. So we go 848.
848.
Please remember that. So I'm going to get you guys to do this with me here. And actually, while you're sitting in your lounge or wherever you're sitting looking on your phone now, please do this with us and see how it works. So we're going to breathe in for 8 seconds through our nose. And you're going to feel your lungs expand. And then you're going to hold for 4 while I count. Then you're going to breathe out, and the way that you breathe out is like you're blowing out your birthday candles. You don't have to purse your lips, but you can just let it out slowly. But try and empty your lungs from the stale. We often just breathe up here when we're panicking. We've got to fill our lungs. So 848. Right. I'm going to ask you, close your eyes, and we're going to do it twice over. Close your eyes with us and let's do this together. All right. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How does that feel, guys? Nice? Okay?
That was nice.
Okay, that is a technique that you can use before an exam. What was that? 20 seconds? 20 seconds before your exam. Use that technique. It will help you in panic situations. It will help you when you're anxious, if you're driving, if you're on the train, if you're in a taxi and you're getting claustrophobic. Actually, stress and anxiety, use breathing techniques. And something else that can help you is you shake yourself out. Shake yourself out. Whoa. Okay, shake yourself out. Take a deep breath. And there we have it. If you need help, don't forget, make a call.